In the gospel reading you just heard, it says specifically that Jesus had been made known to them in the breaking of the bread. I know most of you, a lot of you in our church, have gone to Cursillo, and some of you have yet to go, but I hope you get that blessing upon you. But one of the cool things about Cursillo is not just the weekend, but how we stay together in small groups once the weekend's over. And as we get together, we always have this one question that is said as we go around the table about how our week has been and what we plan for the future week. But the question is asked, when were you the closest to Christ? What was your moment the closest to Christ? And what's really amazing is how many times each of us say that it was when we were in church and the breaking of the bread and the receiving communion together. In most Protestant churches, they might have communion like once a month. Some have it even once a year. But in our liturgical churches, we have communion every Sunday. Because in the Protestant churches, their worship services are centered more around the sermon, but we are in the breaking of the bread and coming to the altar and kneeling shoulder to shoulder to receive Christ again in that visible way. So for us to be together is very, very important. And every time we get together, we break bread. I mean, we do it on Wednesday nights, we do it on Sundays, we do it at baptisms, weddings, funerals, ordinations. Any time we can think of, we like to have communion together. Now, we have physical distancing, and we don't have the breaking of the bread. That moment that had been cherished by so many of us as our closest moment to Christ in a week. So I want you to hear that something about a message in this reading that sometimes can accidentally be missed. Because yes, it is about the proof that there was a resurrection. But it's also about the fact that it says they recognized him in the breaking of the bread, but he had been walking alongside them all day long, and they just didn't see him. They had been so tied up in the fear of what the day would bring, of what the future would bring without Jesus, that they had missed the fact that Jesus had been walking alongside them the whole time. God is walking alongside us still also. And while we're unable to break bread together on our Sundays and Wednesdays and all the other wonderful events that we do, I want you to experience God in the presence of walking alongside you, even still, without the breaking of the bread. Start looking around and experiencing God alongside you right now, every moment, and always. Amen.